Okay, so today I'll probably be two different ones because, well, this morning I've already been up. It's 7, so I don't even have the curtains open yet because it's too way too dark till like 8:30. But I've been up since I keep waking up like at 3, and then I just keep laying there thinking, oh, it's gotta be freaking morning, and then and you can't tell by looking outside. There's no like sun coming up or anything like that. It just is dark all the time. So, get up and go look, and it's like, oh my God, it's 3:15. I've been laying in there forever. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? This is mental. So, I don't know. It's not even Stella waking me up. So, I don't want to know. It seems like I sleep until I wake up, but it's still the middle of the night. So I'm telling you, something seems off. Everything here where I'm at just seems off. Though, I mean, they don't give us much light. I don't know. This is just so weird. And I know it's like, pockets. We're just a bunch of pockets, experiments everywhere. And so today it's supposed to the temperature's supposed to go between like 37 and 41. I was like, whoa, that's lovely. So I'm going to go out and get some exercise, shovel the driveway again, and trash still hasn't come. I have to move the cans and stuff. I did get a delivery late last night. It was an Amazon one for Stella's pill pockets, and it was way after dark, and it said it was coming by USPS, but I haven't seen any delivery thing, so I don't know who actually delivered it. I have no idea it was way too dark. You couldn't see. I was getting notified, oh, your package is delivered, and I go walk out there in the dark, and it was in there, all wet. The envelope's all wet. They just put it right in there in the thing. When it's raining, they'll wrap it in plastic because, they leave it in my drop box because I keep my driveway closed. Keep it closed for the dogs, but also, I found that it also keeps the Secret Service out. And I don't know if it would keep this current government out. I think that they don't pay attention to our rights and laws and stuff like that. But, I did hang all the no trespassing signs, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know what's going on. We still got the airplanes going over us all the time. The, no light of day. These horrible, weird storms that just keep coming and coming and coming in a place that's not even supposed to be having storms like this. I remember when my daughter first moved over here when she started going to college over here, and she, it seems like it might have been in second year, but it could have been the first year. I have no track of time. But it was winter, and they got like 1 inch of snow from Seattle up, and it closed down everything. And my daughter was like, oh my gosh, it's 1 inch of snow, and they're all freaking out. And there was like nothing there, but everything closed down. And she was just like, oh my gosh, this is so weird because they're not used to it at all. Well, they had to hurry up and get used to it because they were going to get pounded by this weather machine that they're using on us. I don't know. It's not natural unless you're living in the reality of climate change. Yeah, not reality. Yeah, this is normal. So last night I had another horrible session. I was just bawling my head off. She starts with her crying, and it just becomes gut wrenching. And during the day when it seems so horrible, I feel horrible because I feel like I just am constantly giving her drugs, and it's my only peace is when she's drugged out and she's sleeping and comfortable. The rest of the time she's just uncomfortable and, staring at me and crying. And my right hip has started hurting so much. So I don't know. Am I just picking up on her sore hips? I don't know. But so last time I'm sitting there just bawling my head off, like, screaming, oh, why do you do this to me? Like, oh, why do I have to go through this? My God, I already went through this horrible death with Lucy. It was, oh my God, I'd never experienced anything like that. And then Winston, all like, quarantine wasn't stressed enough. Then, I have a dog dying, and suddenly vets, it's a pull up and drop your dog off situation anymore. It's not, still is. You don't go in to the vet. And even in the parking lot, boy, you should wear this when you're outside talking to someone, handing off the dog. That makes a lot of sense. It's like, fuck. And then just right away, Stella being so sick. And, I've taken her in, and she's gone to the emergency, she's gone to the vet, she's done everything. And they just keep saying it's her hip dysplasia. And even when they were saying, like, the last time when the vet was like, she's just too young for cancer. I don't think it is cancer. Could be like bone spurs or something, but really we would be treating her the exact same. There's nothing we would be doing different. And so it's like, oh my gosh. But when she just keeps crying and crying and crying, it's really hard to, think, oh, you're just, little wuss, shut up. It's like, oh, my daughter, like, drama queen, shut up. And to me, it's like, and she's like, oh, you're just too much of a wuss. She's just why she does it to you. But to me, I see actual pain, like panting and walking around. She's not manipulating me. She's in actual pain. And so, I'm struggling and bawling my head off and yelling at the universe. And then I just got the message loud and clear, because I'm sitting there battling, like, I don't understand. Like, am I supposed to put her to sleep? I just don't get this. Why do I have to have this pressure? This is horrible. Like, listening to her cry and feeling, that she's in pain. And, so I'm going through this thing. And so the message loud and clear was the reason you're stressed is because you're taking on God's job. It's not your job. You don't have to decide about life and death. You don't have to decide when she's going to die or how she's going to die. It's not up to you. She's on her own experience, so shut up. And I was like, oh, yeah, it was kind of like a relief. And I was like, yeah, why am I trying to take this on? Why am I trying to decide about her? Like if she needs to be taken out or not, like, why am I taking on this pressure? Because it is way too much pressure. And, and then I started thinking, well, in nature, she would go out and, she would no longer be able to feed herself, and she would just have a natural death. So am I preventing that by feeding her and stuff? And then a message was, they show me her getting up happily, going in and begging for food all the time. She's not there yet. She's not at that point of like, I can't feed myself. She knows how to go in and beg for food and demand for food. She tries to open the fridge, for God's sake. She stand up on the counter and try and find food. Like, she's not at that place. So stop taking it on. And it was like, oh, I kind of was like such a relief. And so far this morning, while she's been crying at me, I, can let go of a lot more of the pressure, because it is a lot of pressure to feel like I need to make a decision when, the only thing was that the vet said, well, we could go in and do all of those x-rays again. But that's what happened in the very beginning when she was 1.5, and I took her in, and I was already paranoid because Lucy had died, and Stella's limping around and stuff. And so I took her in, and they did all these x-rays. And then when I brought her home, and they had to put her to sleep, it was like $1,000 for these x-rays. They had to put her to sleep because she's too big, and everybody's all scared of her because her mouth is like as big as a head. And so she, and she's always wanting to grab people, like, she doesn't have hands to clamp with, but she'll use her mouth, and she wants to come up and, like, grab your arm and just hold it. But people always think she's trying to bite them. Like, she's never bit anybody. Sometimes she gets excited, yeah, and she's trying to grab your arm, and her tooth might hit into your arm, but it's not going to hit that hard. You'll feel it, but she's not going to clamp down and bite you. She just wants to make contact. in her mouth is where she can hold on to something. So she, you know, what was I going to say? Anyways, just, whatever I was talking about, just trying to release that pain and that pressure of knowing she's crying and knowing, she's on her own soul journey. Whatever it is that she's going through, it's her experience. So I've just got to, let go and stop thinking like I have to save her by killing her or something. Because I keep thinking, like, oh, what I was talking about with the vet. So with those x-rays, when she went and she got them, and I went out to try and get out of the car, she couldn't move. She wouldn't knock it out of the car. She would not move. She was in so much pain. She was in so much pain. She couldn't go up or down stairs. She, in my bedroom at the time, was downstairs. And she, oh my gosh, it was horrible. And ever since then, she was scared to death of the vet. So I don't know, did they even knock her out? She obviously knew that the pain came from the vet, and she cannot stand the vet. I mean, she literally starts shaking, hair starts flying out like a porcupine, like she panics. Even when we pull up, I've tried to show the video, she freaking panics, because now we have to sit in the parking lot, and wait. She knows that freaking building 100%. I think she knows the drive, and she's like, oh no, here we go. I'm in the car. We're going to that hellhole. So she, dogs are smart if you really connect with them and you really tune in with them. They're smart as shit. And, going, whatever I was going to say. But, she doesn't want to go. And I don't want to put her through that with all those x-rays again. Like, she doesn't want to go. And, like, I took her a couple weeks ago just to get weighed in to see, like, am I making her... Because I can tell she's losing weight. And that's the thing that gets me, is, like, she's losing weight. I mean, the weather is still fucking her. Because it's something with moist. It hurts the joints more. It causes more pain. So I've got to get her to a drier climate. But... she's losing weight. I would think it's got to be something with the spurs or whatever, but if they're going to do the same thing, see, everything it is like waiting on these med beds, because that is really our only future to true health, because they don't, everything is so invasive and nothing really works, and it's all just with their chemicals and stuff, and it's just hurting us more. So, even if I said, oh, can you take off these bone spurs? Well, I had spurs cut off of my bones a long time ago. I was 30. I just had my kids, I just had my third one. And I think I was like 30 or 31. And every time I was stepping down, it felt like I was stepping on glass. I was like, oh my gosh, did I step on something and get it in my foot? And I didn't know it. And now, so it kept feeling like I was stepping on something all the time, and it hurt. When I went to the doctor, and I had to go to a podiatrist, and they did x-rays, and there was like these things that grow in your bone, and they're just like little points. It's like a little calcium point deposit thing or something, and it grows out, but it stabs you. So it does hurt wherever it is this little point points out, unless it's, pointed at something that doesn't have pain sensors. So, they took it off. They went in, they cut a hole in your foot, in the side of your foot. Who knows what all they do? They probably peel the freaking skin back, have your bone exposed, and file it down, or use some power tool, whatever they're doing. And then they're like, oh, and you had some neuroma we had to cut out too, which is a giant nerve packet or something. I don't even know what the hell. It was like it's like a bundle of something that can obviously be cut out. And so they cut those out. So, and then you're laid up for like 6 weeks. How would I do that with a dog? And then after that, mine, I've had, my foot is dead spots. Now, all the places, every place I've ever let them cut into my body has become a dead space where it loses its feeling. And, I think there's something to that, because I've heard it over and over. You know, we shouldn't be letting them cut into our bodies. And especially when we know they have the technology that can, you know, that should be used to heal our bodies. But they want to be invasive. They want to cut into it. They want to cut parts out. And that's one thing with the healing machines, that they are going to grow parts back that were cut out of us. Only they're going to grow them back healthy. So, you know, that they want to go in and cut into our bodies and do all this, you know, dastardly freaking power tools and shit in our body. Like when they do a freaking chest, like after I found out what they do when they do it, you know, I've worked on the cardiac floor and stuff. When they, I was like, I am, fuck that. I am never getting that done. My heart gives out. That's bye. No fucking way. They go in there, they cut, and they use like, I'm not shitting you. They use actual like power tools, like a table saw or something. They cut down your sternum. They open it, they peel it back like you freaking do with a chicken or something. They open it up, spread it so your chest is wide open. They put these clamps to hold it open. Then they dig around in there and cut parts out. And oh, fuck that. And the people, when they come, their scar goes, some of those scars start like right here and then go all the way down. It's like, that is some freaking intrusive shit. And look at that, like power tools being used on us. Like, that is so over the top. Seriously. That is like over the top. That is just shows how, you know, it's like archaic medicine. And it's all done so they can profit off of us. It's just disgusting. But so, you know, I don't want to put her through the x-rays. I don't want to put her through having her body cut and then being, you can't move and stuff. So I just got to keep holding out for these freaking healing machines. And, you know, even when this morning, you know, like when I'm not being able to sleep, the thing I'll notice, and I don't know, maybe this is what wakes me up and I can't go back to sleep. But like my hands keep going to sleep, or tingling or something. Like I can't get comfortable, like things like that. Like, you know, lay on my side and my hands will go to sleep and they will hurt and I'll keep waking up and shaking. I was like, this is so weird. But I really believe that we have got so, I think 100% plus, we're being hit so hard right now with the toxins. My allergies, like I sneeze and sneeze and sneeze, and my nose is so stopped up all the time. And they're just hitting us with every freaking toxin that they possibly can. Even the other day when out here, and I've noticed it so many times with the atmosphere, you know, the atmosphere of our area and how it's like this dense, moist kind of. I was like, man, what a perfect way to just carry toxins, you know, just load us up. So, you know, I believe that we are being so poisoned. And I bet you in the water, oh my gosh, the water district is so fucking corrupt. Oh my God, they're corrupt as shit. So yeah, I mean, everything I see now with anything with the government, you just see like these backroom deals with gangsters. It's all freaking is. They're a bunch of freaking gangsters, you know, and we've let them infiltrate and rule us. It's just disgusting. But this morning when I got up, I put on this station meditation music. I mean, because it's pretty early, you know. I'll just put on some kind of mellow vibe music and kind of relax. And when I turned on, it was something like meditation and healing the soul or something. It didn't have the hertz in it. But I was like, well, that sounds good. I mean, the healing, a lot of times I put the healing stuff on and Stella goes to sleep. So I think that, you know, the frequency sounds are comforting to her, some of them. Some I can tell make her more nervous and I'll change them. But so when I put it on, it was this weird picture on the TV and it was like all the stars, like you were in the galaxy or something. But it had a person who was made out of stars. So they were like a light being. They didn't have any features or anything, but you could see the shape of a human figure or humanoid, whatever. And it was like swimming through space, and the whole way it was moving and the space was moving and stuff. I was like, oh, it's kind of eerie. I don't know, it's kind of creepy. And I started to change it, and I was like, this is what I think everything is, though. So that is how I believe things are, is what that picture was representing. And so it was kind of showing me, so I left it on because it started kind of like showing me, because plasma is in our blood. And plasma is kind of like I think it's like the liquid form of, so it's more of a liquid kind of binder that is also like a protector and a transporter for our blood cells. And if you look under a microscope, when you look at your blood cells, there is some of them, it's like a little party going on. It's not just, you don't just have red blood cells and white blood cells in there. You have other blood cells that come in to do work. So it's really quite cool. One of the cells I remember was like EOs, we called them. And seems like they were something with allergies. Like you'll have a lot, like if you have if you're fighting something, you'll have a lot of these certain kinds of cells that will be in there like, hey, we got your back, with the other cells, you know? So plasma is super, super important to our bodies. And I think that plasma is like everything in space. I think, and when you think about vibration and stuff, so we're 99% water, right? So the plasma inside of us that carries the blood obviously can feel vibration. So it has a frequency. So it has, ooh, and it's weird too if you think about that, because a healthier person would have a higher frequency and their blood would be more pure, you know, it'd be like their plasma would be like a good consistency and stuff. Because when I was working in the lab, when I was going to nursing school, there was some of the blood, oh my God. It was like, oh, it was disgusting. It had like, you could see the fat in it. It was thick. It was, so it was super dense. Like you could see the fat. I'm not even kidding. It looked like, you know, like when you have a turkey or something, and in between the skin and the muscle or whatever it is, the meat part, that yellow gunky fat. So it was like, it's like that. Like you look in their blood tube after it is even spun, and you can see like congealed fat instead of plasma. It's disgusting, unhealthy. And see how that is like a heavier dense. Imagine, like you can't see inside your body, but imagine how is that productive? How is it keeping you healthy? How is it, you know, I mean, right there you can see, like you're just waiting to get blood clots. You're just waiting to get, what is that called when it is arterial sclerosis, when you have a buildup inside your veins. And that causes a lot with heart disease and high blood pressure. So it's really important to keep your blood and healthy, because that is what's feeding all your organs. And if you start putting around, you know, crappy, you know, blood that is all full of fat and, you know, toxins and no telling what all it's got in there, going through and feeding your organs, then your organs are going to become unhealthy. And see, that is like our real health that they should be telling us, but they don't want us to really be in our real health. They really want us to just be unhealthy so that we rely on them. They don't want us to be in charge of our own health. They don't want us to be in charge of our own minds. They don't want us to be in charge of our own consciousness. They want complete charge of everything about you. But you've got to not surrender over that power to them. You've got to take your own power, take your power back from them, because they've infiltrated into our power. You got to, you know, pull it back and say, no, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm not trusting you guys anymore. When I went off 18 pills, like that was sometimes I'm just like, man, that was a really huge challenge. And I was like, I'm freaking doing that. Just like making all these hats and scarves and stuff. I'm almost done. And to me, it's like, oh my God, it's going to be such a relief. And it is so much like that dishes thing. When you go in and you see the stack of dishes, if you just focus on the stack, it's overwhelming. But if you just focus on each thing independently that you're doing, then it's not as overwhelming and you can get through it. Because I think that, I think my daughter, while she was here, was shocked that I, you know, just kept going and going and going and going, day after day after day after day. And just, you know, and plus, you know, I can't see and stuff. So it takes me a much longer, you know, there's girls that can make a freaking hat in an hour. It takes me all day. But I just have to go slow, and I have to fix stitches all the time. And, you know, I have to try and find the little hole thing. And it's a challenge, but, you know, it gives me something to do. And I'm super proud of what I've created now. I'm really excited. I can't wait to give everybody their stuff. But anyways, so back to this space thing. So when you think about the plasma and the vibration, and so if space is, if everything is just plasma, because the way that she's moving it, and when I was watching the stuff about the flat earth, I kept being like, it is, everything is just plasma around us. Everything is some sort of atmospheric density of some type of fluid that is a transference of energy. And I think it's like what we would imagine. I mean, what I think how I imagine it is to be like a plasma. So I think it's like the plasma of the solar system, and and how we move through it. And I had a commercial come up. It was a Stephen Greer thing, and he's like Steve. No, what was that guy's? Solis, the one yesterday on that other video. But the this one, Stephen Greer, the other guy, I have not heard of people saying, oh, he's deep state or anything. Stephen Greer, people have said that. But now I guess he has a new show on Gaia, and it's called, I think they're calling it Disclosure. But he's talking about consciousness and what the hidden truth is and stuff that they've been keeping from us. And when that commercial came on, it made me think about... it was something with space. It'll come back to me. But I think that, so if everything around us is like, space isn't empty. Like when I'm like out here, where when I say like, it's like there's an atmosphere, like an atmospheric, like a moisture, a density to the air out here. And that's what causes problems with Stella's joints. And so there's this density in the air, or whatever you want to think of it. So if you think of the air as not really being air, but this plasma, this density, which they can, you know, put toxins and stuff in and carry it. And as we go out into space, then it is different kind of, you know, I think that some places, like I think it would be heavier around areas where there is realities occurring. So if you think of your soul as being out there in this atmosphere, just this, you know, plasma as part of the system, the part of the solar system, when you're not embodied, when you're just out as consciousness, like you can create your own thing, like you can create your own reality. And how they show in movies how, well, in the one, how ghosts move usually in movies, you know, you just think something and you're there. You don't have to walk. You don't have to walk through walls. You don't have to open doors. You just think it and you're there. And that's why, you know, somebody can be in their bedroom and a ghost come in and they're like, oh, I'm getting away from you. And they're running out the door and get in their car, and then the ghost is just sitting there. Because it doesn't have to do all that, because consciousness can just put itself wherever it wants. It can create whatever it wants to create. So when you're not embodied, you can you have a lot more available to you to spend your time doing things than here. We're more confined when we're in this avatar, bodysuit thing. So when but when you're out there in, you're just a soul, like out in this atmosphere. So you just see all these stars, just these of sparks of light. So souls, like energy, just all over the place. So out there, then when you're in your conscious state and you're around your friends, like it doesn't just look like light flickering. You see your friends and stuff, but you begin to form these lives. Like the lives are created in this other place, this other state of being, when they create this experience that you are experiencing, and they create it with one another, and it's very intricate. Your life is very intricately laid out because it's everything is created, and then your higher self is just watching and learning about itself in the experience, also trying to communicate with you. That's part of the challenge, part of the growing as a soul, to get to that point where you connect with your higher self, the self that is having the experience, because you are just caught up in the experience and you forget about all the other stuff. But so in the different places where there's realities and creation happening, I think it is more of a heavier, but it's not a density, like in a three-dimensional sense of a heavy energy. It still has lightness, but it's still, when we come together, it creates a type of density. And I think that's why it's important when you raise your vibration, because you will be with other people who are meeting your vibration. And that is why we're having this, this separation that's happening. And another thing too, is I was thinking about, because all of these people, who are still out there, out of it, that they still have not pulled into reality, that, and they're taking on a lot. Like, who would have ever thought that they would go through this much time, and that they would go through these many episodes of situations happening and still not seeing it? Like, the humility that I would think someone would feel at the point of realization is like, you wake up and you don't necessarily have one foot in your mouth. You have your fist, your both feet, your neighbor's foot. You have everybody's fucking right in your mouth. And, you're just running around spewing out your shit and don't even know. You're rah, 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 But when they wake up and they see what the truth is, like, that is going to be so much. I know I say this the whole time, but when you think about that, as a soul, like, that is so much that they are taking on, so much that, I do think that these people who are taking on such a heavy energy at this point are here for ascension. Because you would not go through this intense of what they're going to go through when they wake up. It is going to be, but it won't be, for everyone. Not everyone will be able to get through it, because it is going to be so, so difficult. So much facing yourself. And, nobody wants to think of themselves as a jackass. And, when they start having to come to terms with that, it's going to be a lot. And they're going to go through a lot. And I do think that these people are here for ascension. And I think that for all of us who have already been a witness to this, who are all being it, and that's where it's going to come down to us, is, do we become, bitter and resentful and angry, and are we, putting these people down, or because they're so stupid and they're this and they're that? And is that the attitude we carry? Because then that's going to be shown to us of what that really is all about. So, be clear on your intent of how you deal with people and treat people and how you think about things, because it is significant. And the and it is all about our own view of ourself. And God, there's lots of people, especially the ones who are asleep, love to point out to you what they see, but it doesn't matter what they see, because they're coming from a place of pain. They're coming from a place of reaction. They're coming from a place of manipulation. So you got to let go of it, and you really got to get it in your mind, like, hey, they're in a state of illness. And like that thing, I don't know if I ever even completed it before, when I was talking about my dad, Richard Eugene Hart, when he was, what was I going to say about him? Let me think again. With my dad, what the hell was I going to say? I got too many things going in my mind. It's like this freaking, sometimes it feels like there's a crash all of a sudden, like information, boom, and crash. It's like, wait, what? So there was something, it'll come back to me. There was something I was going to say about my dad. It wasn't about Ascension. It wasn't about, see, this happens every time. Because when somebody had told me this, and it was back when I think I struggled more with this drinking, like, especially when you can see like your dad has a good side, and there's a good person in there too, and a fun side, and you really want to be around that person, not the the drunk, angry, whiny, lying, conniving, cheating, like, other person. But back in those days when I was struggling, it seems like I was in my early 20s or something, and somebody told me, I'm sure I've said this before, but I think it was like an Al-Anon meeting or something, and they said, you got to just think about the alcoholic as being in a wheelchair. Would you go up to someone in a wheelchair and you say, get out of the wheelchair? What are you doing, lazy? Get up. No, you got to realize that these people are sick. And that's how I keep looking at these other people in the same way. We got to just look at them like they're sick. They're manipulated, and they are confused. So, and they're going to have a lot of pain when they wake up to all of this stuff. It's going to be very difficult. And so I think that is an important kind of like metaphor to think about. When someone's sick, why do we think that they can be something different than what they are? And another thing too, I wanted to share real quick before I go. But when I go to town today, I'll probably come back and kind of do an update. I'm going to drive. I'm going to do a pretty big trek. I'm going to go to Bellingham, pick up groceries. I'm going to go through Deming. I'm going to go back around to Everson, get more meds for Stella. I got to get more meds for Stella. 2 different places. Go get her meds. Then I'm going to go back by that wood guy's place and see if he's got more wood out, because I don't know that this is going to be ending anytime soon. So just go get more stuff to just be prepared to, at any moment, anything can happen. So anyways, this morning I started having also this, I don't know, a ceremonial moment with time. And the thing with time is, I think people don't realize that time is its own entity. It's not just an entity like a planet or something. Time is, it's like a being. It's a significant system to our system. And right now it's being so manipulated. It's been mistreated and manipulated in this arena just as we have. And so, and just like everyone else, we want this time to end. We're sick of this time that we're in. This is a treacherous kind of time to go through and experience. And so that feeling of like, I just, it is like I started kind of just talking to time, but it kind of became like an emotional kind of conversation, because you can really have conversations. You really do get information back when you start conversing with things and people that aren't there, you know. So it was just about the, you know, trying to come to terms with or acceptance, you know, and saying, you know, I'm sorry for holding so much resentment towards you and being so angry with you and thinking you're the problem and being so frustrated. And then I started giving gratitude and being grateful. I would start crying. I started just giving gratitude for how time has benefited me so much throughout my existence and how it has been there to show me and teach me and to give me motivation, to give me healing. It has been such a productive thing in my life. And yeah, I hear, you know, they do so much manipulation and it's so aggravating. And many of us are angry with time. Our time's been manipulated, it's been enslaved. And we have to come to terms with time and understand that time has a big job, it's intricate, and how significant it is in all of our lives, and the lessons that we've received with time's their purpose, with time's guidance that has led us to who we are right here, right now. So I think that we just have to, I think gratitude is important. I think coming into these acceptance of these ideas and concepts that we have been manipulated with, you know, like time. And there's just so much. There's so much that's going to be purging up. And it's just about us starting to look at things differently, starting to look at them from inside of us instead of what is being shown to us. You know, go inside and connect, because you really do feel the connection. You feel it in your heart space. And, you know, there is a consciousness, there is a communication going on all of the time. And, you know, I don't have to have a name or whatever. You know, I'm just talking to who I was talking with yesterday. I had said, you know, I think it is, people are, oh, it's the devil, it's the angels, it's the, you know, you got to be careful who you're talking to. They can be misguiding you and all that stuff. And, but I mean, most of the beings that are out there that are more sophisticated spiritually and telepathically are what we consider to be aliens and monsters and stuff. So you are mostly, when you are talking to these other beings. Just you know, where they came up with angels and devils, like there's definitely the spectrums of energy. But as a manifestation, even you know, somebody who would think of as a devil or a demon, you know, that just feeds off of dark energy, still has every ability to change. I had heard, I think this is from Dolores Cannon's books, but that as souls, when a consciousness becomes a soul, there's like two different ways that you can learn, like two different kinds of universities. Like I'm hearing in my head about that. What was that daycare that it was a certain style, and it seems like it started with an M, but it was a certain style that they started being like, oh, well, we teach this in our daycare. This is our style of how we communicate with your child and stuff. And, you know, that became a thing. And it's kind of like that. Like it is like a communication style or something. It's a way of being or something. But so two different ways that you can go at the universe and learn. You can go at it from the negative perspective, and you can learn in that way. So, you know, we want to think these people are demons and devils, but they're just learning from the negative perspective. And she said that a lot less souls pick that road, and a lot more of them pick of the positive. And the negative can take longer or something, but everybody's headed to the same place. It's not like there's other places to go. Like people think like there's somewhere lower to go than this. This is freaking low. This is hell. We're in hell. Once we get through this, it's up. We're headed up from here. This is the bottom of the barrel. And so anyways, you know, a lot of people think like there's, oh, we got the angels, we got the demons, we got this, we got that all out there. But really it's just a lot of advanced multidimensional beings that are in other realities that are communicating with us telepathically to give us hope and to give us lessons and to, I mean, show you stuff, all sorts of things. But, you know, so many people are all caught up in their head and they think like everything's coming from inside their head. Well, you know, I do things without knowing how to do them. And I'm not just coming up with this stuff on my own. You tap in and they tell you how to do things. Even when I'm sitting here crocheting it, they give me patterns. I don't know these patterns. They give me the patterns. Like, oh, do this, do that, and stuff. So, anyways, they're out there and they are swimming around in this plasma all around us. And it is like the blood cells. I just know everything in this solar system. Like our body represents everything in this solar system. Every cell in our body represents souls. Every ignited little response system in our body represents, you know, a soul. So everything in nature represents what it is. It's showing itself to us all the time. But we just have to be aware and be paying attention. So anyways, it's still, it's almost 8. It's still like pitch black if you look, because I don't have curtains up in the top windows. It's still pitch black. So yeah, today will be a big day, hopefully. The roads really are clear. I don't know what the hell Inslee is doing. There's no telling. Swear to God, nothing would surprise me. And release the werewolves, the dinosaurs, anything could happen over here. But as long as Inslee's got money, I guess, you know, as long as he's got what he needs, who cares about the rest of us, right? So at least we have each other. They don't have that. And they're a bunch of backstabbers and they're out for themselves. But that is what following the negative path to the light. You know, you're out for yourself. You're going to get kicked in the teeth a lot, and they're about to. So, justice. It's a sweet, it's going to be a sweet word on all our lips soon. So, have a great day. I'm sure I'll be back this afternoon. So, enjoy your morning. Talk to you later.